I'm Dr. Michelle Alden. Here, I'm the director and founder of the Healthy Foundations Family Program and Healthy Foundations Agency. I started this agency being a counselor working with a lot of adoptive families and a lot of post-adoption support, and some help with families that were looking to adopt. So I found through that the greatest thing that we could do was be in the home and help the parents to really implement the practices that we were asking them to do, because it's hard to change your parenting. So we have lead counselors, is what we call them, or parent coaches that go into the home, and we have a program model that lasts 90 days. So the parents take a parenting class, and they learn kind of the general philosophy of how we look at the problems and the issues. And then we go into the home. We put more things on the parent side of it, but we have requirements for the kids too, learning to give good responses, doing basically that they allow their parents to be in charge, some of the kids for the first time in their lives. And we're at the same time, we're supporting the parents in taking that leadership and taking that role. I feel like in our society, we've kind of become more child-focused. So like in our schools and even in mental health, I think we want the kids to make the decisions and make choices and be guided, I guess, in their own lives. But I think that I would say most of the kids I work with, all the kids I work with, are not really able to guide their lives, and I think that we've taken some of that power away from parents. I feel like that's where we're different at Healthy Foundations, because we're saying, no, we need to give it back to the parents. The parents, and in the home we can have healing and growth and change, rather than here's my kid, fix my kid. But one of the basic things that we do is we add a lot of structure. So it's not just having things scheduled, because some families, things are really like they have, they're involved in all these different things outside of the home, but in the home we add structure. So just parents having a plan, it gives the kids a sense that somebody's in charge, and I think that they need that. One thing is this idea of, rather than just stopping a behavior, we help parents to understand that sometimes we're helping kids through those behaviors. If the behavior is really an expression of challenges that the kid may be facing that they may not even be aware of. So some helping parents like redirect those behaviors. Sometimes it's just one of the biggest things, I think, is just this power of waiting and staying present, but waiting through some of this so that we can move forward and redirect. The other big thing that we do is I really want to see the level of safety. A lot of the parents that come to us to help with their kids, the kids already have had a lot of aggression, violent, impulsive, kind of outrageous behaviors. And so we want to establish safety. That's our first goal. And so sometimes it takes a little bit to know how we can do that. And so it's helping the parents to assess where the kids are kind of on that aggression level, and how to intervene at the different levels so that we help them to not go over the top, but if they go over the top, we're there to help that be as safe as it can be. I believe that things can always get better. And I think that the other things that I tell parents is, and we tell the kids this too, they will never give up on you, no matter how challenging your behaviors become. We have them put on a poster. And so I think one of the best things that's come out of all the brain science that we've learned in the last 20 years is that the brain can grow and change and develop. So it's never too late. These kids are very resilient, and especially when you see kids that have been in and out of foster care for long periods of time. And I think a lot of times, even in foster care, they have almost a false resiliency where they just look like, oh, okay, like I'm moving to a different family, oh, this happened, and so it looks like they're just kind of riding through it, right? But we don't necessarily know all of the things that are really going on inside of them. I mean, some kids have even in foster care, are some pretty outrageous behaviors. But what I find is that a lot of times we don't really see the full thing until now they're going to be in a permanent placement. When a child's adopted, now there's kind of this requirement that this is your family and we're going to make it work. And so it's not like, oh, it's going to get bad and we'll just move you to someplace else and see if they can handle you. If the whole goal of foster care, especially in our state, is for reunification with the birth family, then from my perspective and what I do to offer help for parents, I would like to see a lot more effort put into helping the birth family. Then, if the kids are going to be in foster care for as short a time as possible, then that's a transition piece. Then what are we doing to really help post-adoption? And what are we really doing to help with the reunification, to really not just requiring the parents to meet these different pieces, but really helping them with parenting. And we don't want them to stay in foster care for a long time. So they're either going to reunify or they're going to go to permanency. And so this short piece of foster care, I feel like there's a lot of, I would say, some good support, and I feel like we need good families and good people to do that transition piece. But I would like to see the help on either end of that. My hat goes off to them. I think it's a hard place to be, because you are really just this in-between place, of kind of holding a space for this child while the adults on either end get some things figured out, right? But I would just encourage them in what they're doing, to just stay focused on how to best help the child through this transition, and just know that they're kind of a piece of the puzzle in this child's life, and sometimes they're a very memorable piece of it. I mean, I work with kids that they miss their foster parents, and they remember the different homes that they were in. And so we go in the home and work, but my main focus has been working with parents, and I really see that more and more parents are going to want help. So we're going to still have our in-home model, and we still want to encourage that, but we're also moving to parent coaching as well, where several times a week, if they need it for the intensive part of it, they would be able to call and we can go through the program, and I feel confident in being able to help guide them through in this kind of coaching model. There's this quote from John Bowlby, who was the founder of attachment theory, and he said that if we really care about children, then we have to support the parents. We have to help their parents, and I totally believe that. So that, and I think I'm passionate about adoption because it's been a part of my life. I was an adopted child out of foster care. I adopted my son out of foster care, and I've worked with adoptive families. So I started because I was so passionate about keeping families together and really helping them work through this. I think it's tragic when adoptions fall through for kids. Like, it's like even though they do all the things to push away from the family, it's still like it's hard recovery for kids to come back from that. So I'm just, I want to see families be strong and be able to do this. And so I feel like we have more hope now because we know we can make a difference. And I know that these kids, whatever the trauma is that they've been through, I know they can come through it. There's some things that are going to be there that are going to be the effects of these things that happen, but it doesn't have to go, it's not an automatic, like, this is going to be terrible, And so I think that's, where it, kind of changes for me, that I think we maybe lost that hope, like, when we're kind of stuck in just that these kids have these diagnoses and they have trauma and we're just kind of trying to muddle through it. It's like, we have to hold on to this, like, no, we can help these kids get on a good path. It is really powerful to be able to understand the kids. Like, I feel like I understand the kids, but I also feel like I know that the parents need help to see it and help them through that.